Good morning. So it is the second week of my Becoming Superwoman challenge, which is just my challenge to myself. And if you didn't watch part one, basically what becoming Superwoman means to me is becoming the strongest, fittest, healthiest, happiest version of myself. It doesn't mean that it's the leanest, excuse me, it just means the best version of me. So things are 180 degrees different and better than they were the first week. The first week I was still finding my footing. I was still really eating off plan and just eating out of boredom, eating out of, just stuffing things in my face, not even enjoying them, and actually being in pain afterwards because of eating so much. It was almost like, it was like a mental thing. And like I had mentioned, coming off of the cut that I did, it was just a lot. It was the first time I ever did such an extreme cut like that. My body was, super lean. Excuse me. It's morning time. I'm still waking up. So, I think it was a matter of, just my body needed to re-equilibrate back to, a happy homeostatic place. So I don't know if it's just that or what, but I'm eating upwards of 3,000 calories a day now, and I'm feeling great. I still actually feel hungry, which is amazing. Like, there actually are times that I'm like, I'm a little hungry. I'm like, how could I be hungry? So, which is a good sign, I think, because it's saying that my metabolism is burning hot and that, I'm, cranking things back up, because when you decrease calories, you do have a slight slow. It's not as much as people make it out to be, according to the literature, but your metabolism does slow down a bit. It's like a thermostat, when, it adjusts to what's going on. It's not as extreme as some people have made it out to be, where you're like, your metabolism is just going to totally slow down. It doesn't do that, but it does slow down a bit, because think about it. Your body's not going to keep burning at this ferocious rate while you're not inputting those calories. Then we would all probably not have survived this long, in history, because, there have been times of famine where our body needs to adjust to it. So, like I said, I'm still feeling hungry. I'm eating really whole foods, whole, healthy, clean, foods for the most part, and feeling pretty strong in the gym. My muscles have filled out, and I don't have that striated, stringy look. My weight's gone up, which I'm fine with. My cuts have kind of diminished a bit, which I'm like, I could have kept those cuts on my legs. I like those. But my main goal is to feel strong. So, it's very easy for us as women to constantly be going after, I got an eyelash in my eye, constantly be going after some number on the scale and some ideal. And what we have to realize is, oh my God, I can't even concentrate. This is what happens when you don't get all of your makeup off before you go to bed. As women, we think that we have to always, we see these ideas, we see these women on Instagram, and we see the highlight reel, we see their best photos, we see the best lighting and the best filters, and we think that's how they always look, and think that's how we should be, that we have to be, right? And that is by far what we have to be. I think if you can translate that into an internal feeling, a mental feeling, a spiritual feeling, like that same ideal, that's what you should always feel like. But as far as the external, yes, you should be healthy. Yes, you should be trim-ish. You don't need to be lean, but, holding on to a bunch of extra fat. But having that correct mentality and physiology inside, that's what's most important. is making sure that you're putting the right signals, the right inputs into your body. I did a blog recently talking about like what signals are you putting, are you giving your body? What are you telling your body? Are you telling your body that you're happy, that you're healthy, that you're secure, that the right food is available, that you're sleeping the correct amount of time for your body? Or are you running on empty? Are you stressed out? Are you constantly saying mean things to yourself in your head? Those signals are huge and are going to lead to your outward appearance. So even if I'm 10 pounds more than I was, I feel good. I feel mentally healthy because I know that I'm doing the right thing by my body. I'm making sure that I'm getting the right sleep. I'm stopping negative talk. I'm removing negative people from my life. All of these things. It's a process. And becoming Superwoman is all about becoming the best version of me. And the best version of me doesn't necessarily have to look like, a cover model every day. There might be times where I want to lean out and do a photo shoot, or do try again for the cover, or things like this, or maybe even do a stage show, but that's for a small period of time, and you have to look at the big picture, and that's what I'm learning. So it was a little bit of an adjustment coming off of that. It seems I needed to just get right with everything in my world, and I'm feeling really good now. I'm eating tons of food. I'm eating multiple times a day, and trying out ZMA. I'll let you know how that is. It's a supplement that's supposed to help with muscle soreness, muscle building, sleep. Really supposed to help with sleep, which I'm looking forward to. Not that I don't get good sleep, but if I could get deeper, better sleep, we're all good for that. So anyway, it's week 2, and we'll see what week 2 brings. So I hope you're having a lovely week, and I hope that you are becoming your own version of Superwoman as well. So keep working on yourself, because I want you to fill your cup until it runs over, and then start giving to people from that run over, because that's where you're going to give the best version of you. So it's not selfish to build yourself and spend time on yourself, because then, like I said, your cup is full and you're filling other people's cups from your overflowing cup, which is the best way. So have a good day. Okay, so here we go with a little bit of bicep workout. These are just your standard bicep curls with an easy curl bar. Try to keep your elbows tucked. Try not to sway your body back and forth too much. I mean, on the last couple reps, it's okay to do, but try to keep good form. Exhaling on the effort, inhaling as you let that bar come down. And remember, you have to push yourself in order to get gains. You have to push outside of your comfort zone a bit. So here's just a different bicep curl variation using the cable machine. And it just puts the bicep at a different angle while you're doing it. And you always just want to hit the muscles from different angles, different rep ranges, different speed. Maybe you curl slower, maybe you curl a bit quicker, just to activate all the slow and fast muscle twitch fibers, and again, just hitting different angles. So this is the first time I'm doing these, and honestly, I don't think my form is all that great. I'm not keeping my shoulder and my elbow in line. I'm pulling my shoulder a little bit forward, I think, but the more I do these, the better I'll get at them. So just keeping that arm at shoulder height, trying to keep within one plane, and curling in there. All right, so here we're working a little bit of rear delts. I used to do this rear delt cable fly a bunch, and I didn't feel that it worked as well as, say, a face pull or a rear delt fly machine, which you could see right behind me to the right. But I'm always willing to try things again, and it wasn't horrible, but this motion does bother my right shoulder a bit more than the cable pulls. And here you can see I'm going to failure. I'm gonna give myself about a 15-second rest. I'm just gonna stretch out my muscles, and then I'm gonna go back in. This week I was working on what's called rest pauses. So you give yourself about a 15-second rest, and then you go right back in, going to failure again. So I'm gonna give myself this rest, and I'm gonna hop right back in and see how many more I can bust out. Again, it's just putting a different sort of demand on the muscle, which will force it to grow and get stronger. All right, and on to some stiff-legged or Romanian deadlifts. I'm using the hooks here. You can see the straps are on my hand, but they were just not working for me, and my grip was really limiting the amount of reps that I could do. I am in the higher 12 to 15 rep range, and it does tax out my upper body and my grip a lot. These hooks aren't the most comfortable. They kind of keep getting hooked on things that they're not supposed to be getting hooked on, just getting set up. So not my favorite. I might wind up getting Versa grips. I see a lot of people use those. And here I'm gonna see like I'm just stuck, and I'm gonna get stuck again. See? Stupid hooks. Anyway, I am wearing a belt for this. I put it on pretty tight just to make sure that I am supporting my abdominal wall well. I have that hernia that I am getting taken care of next week, so I just want to always make sure to support that area as well as possible. So I'm going back in. That was my rest pause, and I'm going to try to bust out a couple more of these. Had to adjust that hook as well. So just to talk about the grip assists as well. I tried to do it without it for a long time, wanting to build my grip strength, but at this point it's limiting the amount that I can do, and my grip was tiring out before the actual muscle I was trying to work, which here is obviously glutes and hamstrings and low back. One thing to mention here, deadlifts, please make sure you're doing them correctly. They are a movement that you can really hurt yourself on. You want to keep your chest up, your back flat, and that bar should be skinning past your legs the entire time. It should be sliding down your quads and staying super, super close to your shins. And you're hinging at the hips and driving the hips forward. You should not feel this in your low back at all. If you do, you are doing it incorrectly. All right, on to some ab work, which I will not be doing for quite some time after my surgery. So here is just a reverse crunch or heels to the heavens, however you want to, there's a couple different names for it. You want to really focus on not using momentum to lift up. So I'm bracing myself on this box behind me just so I don't lift my upper body up, and I can just really focus on that lower core. My legs here aren't the best. They should be a little more on top of my hips, which would make it harder. I think I was just tired by the end of squatting and deadlifting, but you should try to make yourself almost like an L. It'll make it a little more difficult and work into those lower abs a bit more, but I still felt it for sure. All right, I'm calling these explosive BOSU or ball crunches. And like I said before, you want to work your muscles in different ways. So sometimes I go slow and controlled. Sometimes I hold for isometric hold. Sometimes I'll do like almost an explosive movement where I'm really just shooting up real strong. And that just sends different signals to the muscle, working it a different way. Different types of fibers are activated then. Just trying to change it up. And going back on the ball really helps get the abs past that where they would be on a flat ground, and I do feel it a lot more. All right, so here are plank holds. I did 3 or 4 of these for a minute each. And I was watching a video right before I did these, the day before, and he was talking about rounding the back. You're almost, you really can't tell all that much, but my pelvis is tucked. My abs are actually like engaged, like as if I was doing almost a hollow body, you know, like a crunch on the floor, just to keep those abs activated even more. And I did feel it more than I would if I was just holding, say, a normal plank. But you don't want your butt up high and you don't want your butt to be sagging. I always did my planks like straight across, but here I'm a little more in that hollow body position, which I think did activate my core more than just a normal plank. So next time you do that, try it out. But again, don't stick your butt in the air. It's more of just a slight curve in. Hello, my Superwoman friends. So I wanted to, oh, my hair is so crazy. I wanted to, whoa, it's gonna be hard to concentrate with this cough. I just wanted to check in. It is week 2 of the Becoming Superwoman Challenge, and I think I can actually do 1 pull-up at this point from a dead hang, which is awesome. And really just came down to practicing the movement more. Sort of like the muscles didn't know how to really work together. They were all strong. You know, people would always say, how could you not do a pull-up? You know, you have all this muscle. And I said, I don't know. I thought it was maybe, you know, my strength to weight ratio was just, you know, off still. But I really, the more I researched it, I found out that it's more just of, you know, just getting your body used to the actual movement. So I've been practicing jumping up, holding myself there, and then slowly lowering down, right? And really having that controlled motion, not just letting myself drop. Doing some rows, although I haven't done much of those yet. So you can do them either in the Smith machine, just coming up like that, right? Lock the Smith machine. Ooh, everything hurts today. Or you can do them rings, do a ring row, which I don't have my pull-up bar still set up, so I haven't done that. But I have been doing little things also at the gym in the squat machine, or it was the Smith machine, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the bar is set on the U things or whatever, or in the Smith machine locked. And you just sit on the floor, keeping your butt in line with the frame, and you just pull yourself up, right? So it's kind of like an L sit, and you pull yourself up from there. Man, I can't even pull air up right now. So I did, my leg workout was yesterday, and I tell you, working in this, I'm working in the 12 to 15 rep range. Whew, it is beating me up. I mean, in a good way, but this is just my problem area, this shoulder. But my legs, I look like I spent a week at a rodeo right now. I can't really walk all that well. So I guess it's just I'm not used to being in that rep range, but I've definitely felt a lot of good muscle soreness that even when I was pushing myself super hard, for whatever reason, I wasn't feeling that kind of soreness. And I think it also has to do with the fact that I'm eating so much more food that I have the energy to push harder. So my hard push is a lot harder than it was, say, you know, 5 weeks ago, you know, 6 weeks ago, when I was on pretty low calories and all that, you know, jazz, working out an insane amount. So I am feeling better, although I'm feeling very tired towards the end of the day. Not during the day. I feel fine. You know, I wake up at 4. I feel fine when I wake up. I don't feel tired then. I love my quiet mornings. But it must be like an adrenal fatigue sort of thing. So just around 7:30, I start that yawn where you're like, I'm a tired. It's not just I'm yawning, I'm, you know, whatever. It's the I'm yawning, and the end of it, you're just like, oh my God, I gotta go to sleep. So, which it's about 6:11. That felt good. That felt almost like it was gonna go in that direction. So it is really rewarding to be in tune with my body at this point. I've spent so much time working on it, right? Focusing on, you know, the different parts of it, focusing on the food that I put in it, the sleep that I'm giving it, the stress that I'm allowing in or not allowing in or combating, or however you want to look at it. And it's really coming to a point where I'm more in tune with my body. So when I do have these moments where I'm super tired, or stressed, I'm more aware of it going on, and rather than get snappy at my family or eat out of control, right? When you're really hungry or you're stressed, sometimes you just go to food and just out of habit. So now I'm just more aware of the things going on. So I think the saying goes, what you track you can improve. So by doing this constant tracking and monitoring and being aware of all these things, I can improve those things because I'm more aware of them. Where if you just mindlessly go through the day and the week and the month and the year, that's where the pounds creep on and you just forget what the inside of the gym looks like, or, you aren't getting outside enough, and then you wind up with, neck pain that really is from your hamstrings being tight or something like that because you're not moving your body. And it all just snowballs into something that you can't explain because you haven't been paying attention to all the signs. They say the universe, or God, however you want to say it, whispers first, and then he screams. He's gonna let you know what's going on. So you should try to pay attention to the whispers before they become screams. It's gonna take a lot less to fix them. So with that, I just wanted to check in on this week's challenge. It's only week 2, so I'm not beating myself up, but I have done nothing in terms of handstands. I think I kicked up into a handstand during my Monday night yoga like one time, and I really haven't worked on it very much. But unfortunately and fortunately, I am getting this mass. That sounds horrible, but it's not cancer or anything like that. It's either a fat that herniated, like an internal abdominal fat that herniated, or a muscle. Ooh, don't mind I was gardening. Ugh, there's dirt underneath my nails. I'm going to talk about that in a second. It's this bump on my stomach. If you look back at some of my pictures, you might even notice it, especially when I'm leaner. I thought it was a hernia for the longest time, and it might be a slight hernia, but it does bother me from time to time. Sometimes when I'm doing, say, like an upward dog or other moves, I can kind of feel it and it tweaks it weird. It actually popped out. I was laying in bed one weekend morning and I just twisted to one side and the shooting pain happened. I immediately put my hand there and there was a bump. So I don't think it's not something that has grown over time, because it was literally not there and then there. So I have a diastasis, so your rectus abdominis should, usually is tight like this, and mine is not that bad. I don't really have that much, but a diastasis happens when the rectus abdominis, the fascia, I think, maybe I'm saying it right, that hold it together gets weakened. So things can pop through. So Tuesday, I'm getting that taken care of, and I really don't know how long I'm going to be out of the gym for. So I don't know that I will start my second week of my program, which would be going into the 9 to 11 rep range. So I probably definitely am going to stay out of lifting super heavy. I might actually do week 1 again and just stay in that higher rep range for the time being. So I'm not really pushing the heavier weights until I feel, that my abdominal wall or whatever, see what the extent of the surgery is. So that's that. I'm going to try to keep my diet pretty clean during that time so I don't, put on a bunch of weight. I'm still going to try to stay active. I'll be home for about 4 days from work, so maybe take the dogs for a walk or just go by myself so I don't have to pull them, because they do pull on the leash a bit. What was I just thinking that I was going to talk about? I don't know. Now I totally forgot. I don't know. Anyway. I don't know. Hernia. Surgery. Tired. I think I might go food shopping now. I think I'm sick in the head. Got a fresh shave today. Feeling kind of fresh. Fresh. This is crazy though. Anyway, week 2 of becoming Superwoman. So week 3 will be quite interesting because we won't be building Superwoman from a physical standpoint. Thinking we're going to build Superwoman from a mental standpoint, since we have the time to relax and rest and Oh, that's something else. I was looking into supplements because my older son has a little bit of attention deficit disorder, I would say. He's just very hyper and unfocused. Not very hyper, I shouldn't say that. He's not terrible, but it is noticeable. He's a boy too, so it's more common, you know, and they're just all over the place constantly from the moment they wake up until the moment they go to bed. So I looked into some supplements, and I'm actually going to pick up some rhodiola. I think that's what it is. Yes, rhodiola, which I didn't even know, but it helps with cortisol levels. So I'm going to take it as well. I'm going to have my husband take it. Not a bad thing to lower. Still have not gotten my period. It is now like day 60 something since my last period. So I'm going to look into that more. And I think that, you know, I was actually thinking about canceling the surgery because of just, you know, the time at work. It's the end of the marking period, and, you know, life just feels like, you know, in the way. But I have to take my own advice and fill my own cup and take care of myself first. And even though I don't want to be out of the gym, which is another reason why I don't want to do it, I have to be smarter than that and say, I'm going to take care of it now so that it doesn't become a bigger problem in the future. With all that being said, I think that it's also an opportunity to relax and rejuvenate and let my body come back to homeostasis, let my hormones re-equilibrate, and hopefully get my period. So if you have any experience with amenorrhea or losing your period and any tactics that helped, leave them in the comments below because I would definitely value that. So this has been a very long chat, but I appreciate you all viewing this video, and I hope that you are finding it helpful and that you can take little tidbits of it into your own life. And if you ever have any questions, comments, please leave them below, or you can contact me through my site. So I don't know, maybe there's going to be clips after this, maybe there's not, because I suck at editing. But anyway, talk to you later.